Hello everyone, welcome back to the Roundtable. My name is Tom, and it is San Diego Comic-Con weekend. And even though none of us are actually at the con, that just means that we are at home base reporting on everything as it happens. So to stay up to date on all the news coming out of San Diego this weekend, make sure you are subscribed to the Roundtable and have the bell clicked to make sure you don't miss anything, because we're going to be making all sorts of videos covering all the news coming out. So let's start this thing off with She-Ra and the Princesses of Power, one of my favorite shows that has a new season coming out in just a few weeks on August 2nd. And our news is coming from a panel at San Diego Comic-Con, of course, featuring showrunner Noelle Stevenson and members of the voice cast: Amy Carrero, voice of Adora and She-Ra, Karen Fukuhara, voice of Glimmer, Marcus Scribner, voice of Bo, and Lauren Ash, voice of Scorpio. The panel opened up with the voice cast expressing their appreciation and how much they enjoy working on the show. And this included Lauren Ash saying how much she appreciates the way the show's audience has embraced her and her character Scorpio, which led into what we can expect from Scorpio in Season 3. If you ever wondered how such a pure-hearted and kind person like Scorpio could align with such a tyrannical group of people like the Horde, the reason given was that Scorpio is a very loving person, and at times that is to her own detriment. An example of this in the show is the way that Scorpio shows so much love for Catra despite being met with indifference. And throwing things back to Princess Prom, we know that as a princess, Scorpio was not accepted by the other princesses, which left a vulnerability for the Horde to prey on. Scorpio needed a place where she could be accepted and have an identity, and by giving her validation, the Horde was able to earn Scorpio's loyalty through those insecurities. Noelle Stevenson also mentioned that there's big things to come for Scorpio in Season 3. One bit about the supporting cast that I haven't seen a lot of people mention is Noelle Stevenson talked about Kyle, the Horde soldier, and how his character is inspired by the everyman trope of someone who's not at all impressive or exceptional, but in most stories would end up having some greater destiny that he's predetermined to realize. But in this story, he doesn't. He's just Kyle. And I honestly really appreciated that as someone who finds the everyman trope really hilarious as a concept. Moving on, Entrapta and Hordak are mentioned to now have a friendship where they both feel like they can be themselves around each other, which is going to be really interesting to see, as we haven't really gotten much from Hordak and what kind of person he would be around someone who he isn't trying to flex his authority over. Bo's stats were mentioned, and Noelle talked about how it was planned from the beginning that Bo would have a very unclear origin, coming across as this almost feral child who just hangs around Bright Moon, while having a motivation to keep his home life a secret because he feels like his dads don't let him be himself. Then of course a big motivation for Noelle Stevenson in giving Bo two fathers was to normalize same-sex parents and treat that aspect of Bo's home life like it's not a big deal. Some of the most heavy discussion though was of course around Adora and her identity as She-Ra. A big part of Adora's journey in Season 3 will be about her sense of agency. She's hyper aware of the fact that she was able to decide for herself to walk away from the Horde, but now taking the mantle of She-Ra, she doesn't feel like she has that same control over her future, which Light Hope doesn't understand because she is, as Noelle Stevenson describes her, a ghost of a past civilization with a different perspective that doesn't understand why Adora would refuse her purpose or function. This is also all happening at the same time that Adora is having revelations about her past that she doesn't handle well, because Adora is not ready to face her past. This includes not being ready to confront Shadow Weaver, which we know will be happening immediately based on the ending of Season 2. Speaking of Shadow Weaver, Noelle Stevenson mentioned how she really enjoys writing Shadow Weaver because she is very evil and selfish, but she still has a human side to her. This combined with the connections she has to everyone in the story, like her motherly role to Adora and Catra, or the fact that she trained Glimmer's dad, Micah, gives every scene she has so much tension. As for Catra, we surprisingly didn't get too much information, other than that she is someone who cares a lot about everything all the time, even though she pretends that she doesn't. But now she's in this position where she has nothing left to lose. So in this season, she's going to be a terrifying loose cannon that apparently has a whip now, which despite this not being a whole lot of information, it does sound very promising and very exciting. But obviously Adora is going through a lot in this season, which her friends in the Best Friend Squad will have to be there to support her through. However, the Best Friend Squad won't be the only ones there for Adora, as it was mentioned that there will be new characters added into the main cast, specifically Huntara, a desert hunter voiced by Gina Davis. Amy Carrero also mentioned that Huntara and Adora have a very flirty dynamic, so the reaction to that will be fun to see on social media. From what I can gather, it seems as though the climax of the season will play out in a part of Etheria called the Crimson Waste, which is the wasteland area that Scorpio is from. This is where Noelle Stevenson says we're going to see characters in situations they've never faced before and in dynamics that have yet to be explored. Based on all of this, it seems like my speculation after Season 2 that this season was going to be really intense is turning out to be true. There's a lot of really awesome things to look forward to on August 2nd, but as always, I want to hear from you. What do you want to see most in Season 3? You can tell me in the comments comments down below, or you can hit us up at Roundtable Vids on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, or find me at TommyPQM on Twitter, Tumblr, and Instagram. If you like this video, give it a like and share it with your friends to make sure that they all stay up to date on all the San Diego Comic-Con news. And again, to keep yourself up to date, make sure you are subscribed to the Roundtable and click the bell to get notified as we drop news throughout this week. If you want to go above and beyond to support us, you can pledge to us on Patreon. As always, my name is Tom. I hope you have an awesome weekend, and I will see you next time. See ya!